The Trans-African Tourism and Unity campaign continues across the continent. Members of the campaign embarked on a road trip on August 18th, traversing West, Central and Southern Africa. From Accra, Ghana, to Namibia and Botswana, passing through 10 other countries, the group has been presenting messages to leaders about the urgent need to implement a visa-free policy as a way of uniting the continent and creating opportunities for all Africans. To get the latest, we have on the line Ras Mubarak, former Ghanaian Member of Parliament and campaign lead for Trans-African Tourism and Unity campaign. Ras, how are you this morning, and thanks for making time to catch up with us.
Bright and early in Pretoria. Good morning to you and your crew.
Well, we spoke a bit some time ago, around that time of August 18th when you were launching this campaign. Can you just start by giving us a bit of background in terms of also what inspired this campaign for those who missed our brief chat?
Absolutely. So the campaign is ostensibly to promote African unity and to ensure that countries in Africa have a borderless system where all African nationals can travel seamlessly within Africa without visa restrictions. You know, because these were lines, colonial lines that were drawn to keep us apart from each other. And we started on August 18, as you rightly said. South Africa is the 12th country. We're traveling through 39 African countries in total. And we are on the road up until 27th January 2026. So this is going to take us 163 days. And this has become extremely important because we need to stimulate the economies of Africa. African countries need to diversify from their over-reliance on natural resources, which a lot of the time, have created problems whenever the prices of commodities fall or plummet. And so we want Africans to be able to, especially our governments, to be able to generate revenue through intra-Africa tourism. We want to showcase Africa to the world that, there's a lot more to this beautiful continent than farming, wars, etc. And the youth are, looking forward to getting sustainable jobs. And we believe that the tourism sector would generate the needed jobs for our young people, but also, generate revenue to build more roads, schools, and hospitals, for respective African countries. As you may be aware, Africa makes about $1.9 billion annually from tourism. This figure could be well quadrupled. And so it's become extremely urgent, especially in a time like now. We've got to trade a lot more amongst ourselves. And I have said it time and again that a dollar spent out of Africa, importing goods into Africa, is a dollar spent to impoverish Africans. And so, we need to encourage African businesses, and we need to grow what we eat and eat what we grow. It's been exciting so far, but unfortunately, I must tell you that South Africa has been a bit disappointed because we have yet to secure a single high-level appointment, to meet with government officials and present, a petition for, government to look into. But we've had endorsements from, SADC countries such as Namibia, such as Angola and Botswana, where meetings were held at the very highest levels, and we've had highest engagement in places outside of the SADC region, places like Congo DR, Republic of Congo, Benin, etc., where all of these governments have made commitments. Because you see, the thing is, again, Rwanda has demonstrated that, tourism could be a tool to creating revenue for people. And it is, I believe strongly that it is on the back of what Rwanda is doing. That is why Kenya has followed suit and has also, announced that they would allow for all African nationals to come to Kenya without the restrictions of visas. And this, we believe, is a good thing. South Africa is a big player on the, African continent, obviously one of the finest places to be in Africa. And clearly, South Africa should be seen as a champion of the Pan-African agenda.
What has been most surprising to you about the journey so far? I know you've said that it's been exciting, and you mentioned those who've responded and those who haven't really, not yet. But what has come out to you as being most surprising?
Well, there were quite a number of surprises in places like Equatorial Guinea, beautiful Equatorial Guinea, even in places like Republic of Congo, where they have some very, very good roads in spite of the challenges that they're facing. Because the narrative has always been that, a place like Congo, the Republic of Congo has some very bad roads, but we traveled on some really well-class roads, and I must also commend South Africa for the seamless border because we have had to wait in some places for 4 hours just to cross into a country. But in South Africa, and pretty much the entirety of the SADC region, the process took less than 45 minutes. And this is testament, to your commitment, to allowing seamless border travels for people who are using the border. So that is highly commendable. But there have also been, enormous challenges in places like Cameroon, where we were turned away to go and get physical, stamps into our passports instead of electronic visas. That took us 10 hours, back into Nigeria, on a rainy day on bad roads. But these are some of the challenges. And the good thing is no country is perfect, whether it's the Western Europe or North America. All countries have their peculiar challenges. And what we need to do as Africans is to strive to be better, is to strive to uplift people out of the challenges that they seem to be facing. But, look, this is a great continent with a lot of potential. If you look at the Democratic Republic of Congo, they're sitting on a $24 trillion mineral wealth. In real terms, what that means is that the Republic of Congo alone can take care of South Africa and all the other countries in Africa if these countries were not generating any revenue. And Congo's resources can comfortably do that for 10 years. And so, if we are united, if we're trading more amongst ourselves, I mean, the SADC region has a lot of beef. I don't see why, West Africa should be bringing in beef from Europe, Asia, etc. We've got arable land, and we need to take care of our own and make sure that the wealth remains in Africa.
And the journey continues until January 27th next year. But what's next now? Where do you go from South Africa?
We're heading to Lesotho, then to Eswatini, then Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. That is the end of the trip into the SADC region. Then, of course, we move to East Africa, then North Africa before we head back to West Africa.
Russ, thanks so much again for this update and for the work that you are championing.
We are in this together, and I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to speak to South Africans.
It's our total pleasure. Russ Mubarak is a former Ghanaian member of parliament, and the campaign lead for this campaign is called the Trans-African Tourism and Unity Campaign, and they are embarking on a road trip across the country, across the continent rather. They are in the country of South Africa currently, and they're passing through other countries, presenting messages of the urgent need to implement a visa-free policy as a way of uniting our continent.
Download the SABC app